Let's start with the Hillary Clinton email controversy. We've been talking about it all week, and the question is, does it have legs? Is this going to go on and be a problem for her as she moves into the presidential campaign phase? Or is this a media frenzy and something Republicans are seizing on? And if you haven't been watching the news this week, Hillary Clinton has now acknowledged she had a private email server. It was at her home in Chappaqua, New York, and she did government business on this email server. Her team saying nothing nefarious here, that she has the records, she preserved the records, they're available to the government, therefore no big deal. Others have done it beforehand. Secretary of State John Kerry now has to deal with the processing of all of this, shall we say. Requests for information from news organizations, subpoenas from the Congress, questions about whether, in fact, everything was preserved. He says this.
With respect to Secretary Clinton's emails, the State Department has had access to a wide array of Secretary Clinton's records, including emails between her and department officials with the state.gov accounts. I think we have all the ones that are state.gov, which are appropriately the ones in the purview of the department. But let me check on that when I actually have time to pay attention to such an important issue when I get home.
My question is that such an important issue part, is that from John Kerry, like a go away, I've got more important things to deal with here, or does he really think it's such an important issue?
Well, he's clearly telling us to, go take a long walk off a short pier with this. And, fair enough. He's got the Iran nuclear negotiation. He's got the situation in Ukraine. He has all these other world problems. I get that. However, you started out by asking whether this is a real issue or a political frenzy. I don't think we have to choose on this one. It touches the Clintons. It calls into question their judgment. It calls into question how they did the people's business. We have a lot of questions, and we're not getting a lot of answers.
Well, it's sort of like a virus. I mean, right, it's going to live out its life cycle now, lay low for a little while, and then there are going to be all these inflection points as the contents of the emails are read and gone through. Anything else that leaks as her campaign rolls out officially and begins to ramp up. And this exists both on the substantive level, what was she emailing and did it violate any of the stuff, and on the political level, which has eaten up so much of our energy this week, which is she using good judgment? Is she getting in front of potential controversies or scandals and sort of snuffing them out, or waiting for them to be discovered?
And God forbid, one of the things we ask when we're talking about the political context of things is she being consistent? Now remember, she is not the first person to do this. Former Secretary of States have used private accounts. Karl Rove got into a bit of a dust-up in the Bush administration when it turned out he was using a political account to do some business. And back then, in 2007, this is a little hard to follow, it's old tape, but watch this. Candidate Hillary Clinton back in 2007 voicing her outrage at the Bush administration.
We know about the secret wiretaps, we know about the secret military tribunals, the secret White House email accounts. It is a stunning record of secrecy and corruption.
Coming soon to a Republican ad near you.
I think it's already, it's maybe happening.
I think they're about to hit send on that one. Yeah.
But she does open herself to that. I mean, that's just, you can't beat up the other guys about secrecy, and she says corruption. Let's just focus on the secrecy. There's no evidence Secretary Clinton was corrupt here, but there is evidence she was secretive, that she kept the personal account. And again, if she had kept the personal server inside the walls of the State Department, I think this would be more for the technology and the legal people to deal with, not the political people to deal with. The fact that it was in her private home, we don't know. We assume she's turning everything over. We give her the benefit of the doubt, but it's hard to say. We assume we're going to get most of what she did government business on, but what if she, using her personal account, emailed aides in the State Department also using personal accounts? Will we ever see those?
Well, we don't know that she's turning everything over. I mean, part of the point of this is that she and her advisors have kept a close hold on these emails. The statistic you're going to hear time and time again is that they turned over 55,000 pages of her communications to the State Department late last year. I don't know how much that is of her overall communication. I don't know how they reviewed those, the body of her work to decide what gets turned over and what doesn't. I'm not saying there's anything nefarious. I just have no idea how that review process unfolded.
And because of her last name and because of the history with the Clinton family, because the words "I don't know" will lead to significant and legitimate inquiries from committees in Congress, and it will also lead to a frenzy out there in the Clinton conspiracy theory world, which is sometimes a bit out there, but she's asked for this, I guess is the best way to put it.